Hello, lovelies. This is 5 Minute Manifesting, and I'm your host, Lovey Brown. Thank you so much for listening. I'm thrilled that you're here, and today I want to talk to you about the words you're using when you talk to yourself in your internal world. And are you saying those same words out loud, or are you saying different words to the people that you're talking to? And how we can make sure that those are aligning as best as they can, as best as you feel comfortable doing, so that you can manifest exactly what you want. So let's just get into it here. So I've noticed when I'm talking to clients or when I'm talking to people that I'm hearing people tell a story or say words that do not reflect what they're manifesting. Now, I understand that when someone's telling me, like, this is what's going on, and like, we just need to get out, like, this is the reality of the situation of what's happening right now. You know, what's already manifested. Like, this is what's in 3D reality. You know, I'm in no contact with this person, or, you know, I didn't get the job or whatever. That's totally fine. There is no reason to be afraid of what's actually happened in your reality. What's already manifested. There's no reason to be afraid of that. I want you to really hear that and take that in, because people that I'm talking to, at least, do feel really afraid of just acknowledging it. And you do not have to be afraid of acknowledging it. You really do not. Now, what you don't want to do is dwell there in your internal world. You don't want to just dwell and stay in, this is what's happening, this is what's happening, this is what's happening. Even though I know the urge to do that can be really strong when you have very strong emotions about it. When something evokes very strong emotions, your mind just circles and circles and circles, trying to soothe itself. But you can't soothe yourself from this place, from these thoughts, from these words that are creating the negative feelings inside of you. You really have to separate yourself from what's happening in the 3D reality and what's happening even in your own mind, even in your own thoughts. If you're in one of those spirals, in one of those circling spirals, you know, I haven't heard from him in 3 weeks. I haven't heard from him in 3 weeks, or whatever it is, whatever the example is. You know, I didn't get the job, or, you know, what, like I said, whatever the example is, you have to create some separation inside of yourself. And that's what manifesting tools do. That's what meditation, if that's a manifesting tool that you use, does. It provides you moments of separation from those thoughts, from those words, from those stories that are happening inside of you. That's what affirmations do. So, like, if you're saying a different affirmation, I have the job of my dreams. My specific person and I are madly in love. Whatever your affirmation is, those affirmations are creating separation between, first, what's happening in the 3D reality, that's what's already manifested, that's old news, that's not what you wanted, not the end result that you want, and the thoughts that you're thinking that you're spiraling with. So if those are circumstances that you recognize as a manifester, or maybe you're just new at manifesting and you're just practicing this, and you're listening to content and you're trying to get it. Because I've been there. I've been there as a new manifester, and there weren't tons of content creators at the point I was trying to learn this. You're just really trying to figure this out. And so it can take some time to really sort of figure yourself out. And even now, I find myself, having to catch myself, having to be like, oh, wait a minute. I'm a manifester. I don't need to dwell in this spiral. Like, I can create some separation. So let me go back to that idea of creating separation. Manifesting tools, you choose one, and then that's what helps you create that separation. And because you are the I am, right? You are our consciousness. You are, you can if you need separation from that, you can say your higher self is, or the God within, right? God lives within inside of you. However your framing of that is, it doesn't really matter what it is as long as you're clear about it. But you have to sort of acknowledge that there is it's not a separate being. It's you. It's who you are. It's not a separate being, but it's not necessarily this like person that's in the spiral, right? Like there's another I am inside of you that can step back from that spiral and observe it. And like all of this is safe and fine. Sometimes it can feel hard to let go of the spiral, to let go of that story, because it is somewhat comforting, right? Like that's why your brain is doing that, because it comforts you. It comforts you. It helps you say like, well, I'm not going to forget this. I'm learning from this. And you really need to step back and soothe yourself. Remember, self-soothing, I think, is really the key to manifesting. And kind of let that go if you can. And if you can't, just observe it. Say like, okay, like just step back. Say you're in a spiral. You're thinking, a thought, so a couple of 2-3 thoughts on a loop. And you take a step back in your imagination. Like this is all in your internal world, right? And you just say like, okay, yeah, Lovey is having those thoughts right now, and it's okay. You can also say something like, I'm casting these thoughts on the God within, and I'm going free. I'm casting these thoughts on the God within, and I'm going free. So that's a manifesting tool. Or you're going to say like, okay, I'm going to drown out these thoughts with affirmations. Now that one can be tricky because it can feel tough. I mean, it can feel like a hard thing to do. But I will say it does work. I've done it before and it has worked for me. It is like a challenging sort of thing that like you're kind of committing to, is doing these affirmations to drown out the other thoughts. Meditation is a great manifesting tool for this. You're just going to go and you're just going to, take deep breaths and relax and try to clear your mind of these thoughts. And if they come, you're just going to observe them. You're just going to observe them and let them float by. So it's just this idea of separation. I know can be kind of hard to explain. And that's why so many people create manifesting content. It's just that there's so many little subtleties to talk about. And I just really enjoy talking about it. And so I so appreciate that you're here listening to this. You really can do this. And I encourage you, you can manifest exactly what you want in 2025.